I heard about it. Claire's getting engaged. Really? To who? There wasn't a single whisper about this before. Who else? Ryan Mitchell from the Mitchell Group. A power alliance. Our company's future is set now. Wow. They're a perfect match. Socially well matched. 2. No wonder Ryan's been hanging around the office every day lately. So he was chasing Claire after all. Chasing? Please. It's a business marriage. You rookies are so naive. Still shipping them like it's some rom-com. In the break room, the chatter of a few young colleagues felt like a dull blade, sawing at my eardrums. My hand froze mid-air. The coffee cup trembling. The scalding liquid rippled, reflecting my bloodless face. Claire Anderson. Getting engaged. That name had lived in my heart for 4 years. Over 1,400 days and nights. And now it felt like a red-hot iron spike, driven straight into my chest. My name is Ethan Carter. I'm an unremarkable programmer in the tech department. 4 years ago, fresh out of grad school and full of ambition, I turned down offers from every major tech giant to throw myself into this then unknown startup. Why? Because its founder was Claire Anderson. The girl who stood on that campus recruiting stage in a sharp suit, speaking with effortless confidence, her eyes glittering with galaxies. One look, and I was lost forever. Over these 4 years, I watched the company grow from a tiny workshop of dozens to an undeniable unicorn in the industry. Every line of code I wrote built our core technological. I thought I was getting closer to her. I thought she'd see the feelings I hid in countless late nights, technical breakthroughs, and project reports. Turns out, it was all just wishful thinking on my part. Hey, Ethan. What are you spacing out for? Your coffee's cold. An intern slapped my shoulder, startling me. I snapped back, forcing a smile worse than a frown. Nothing. I poured the lukewarm coffee down the sink. The brown liquid swirled away, just like my 4-year secret crush that could never see the light. Back at my desk, a news alert popped up in the bottom right corner of my screen. The headline stole my breath. Business Alliance. Claire Anderson, heiress of the Anderson Group, to be engaged to Ryan Mitchell of the Mitchell Group next month. In the accompanying photo, Claire wore a custom couture gown, arm in arm with a handsome man, both smiling for the camera. Perfectly matched. That man was Ryan Mitchell. Lately, had been a regular at the office. Luxury cars, flowers, designer gifts, the whole display. I'd always assumed it was tacky courtship, something Claire's personality would never tolerate. Now I knew better. I was wrong. Spectacularly wrong. I stared at that photo for a long time, until the screen dimmed, reflecting my wrecked face. I opened a blank document. My fingers hovered over the keyboard before finally typing 2 words. Resignation letter. 4 years. This solo act needed to end. She was about to have her perfect life. As an irrelevant supporting character, I should exit gracefully. Leaving without disturbing her was my final kindness. The next morning, I placed a neatly printed resignation letter on the desk of Director Wang, HR head. Had watched me grow over the years, and his shock was undisguised. Ethan, what are you doing? Is this a joke? I looked at him calmly. Director Wang, I'm serious. Why? The company treats you well. Salary, stock options. We haven't shortchanged you on anything. Project Aurora is launching soon. You're the lead tech. How can you leave now? His tone was urgent. Baffled. Project Aurora was the core initiative we'd spent a year building. The culmination of my 4 years of work. If this company was my child, Project Aurora was its heart. But now, I could barely keep myself together. How could I care if its heart kept beating? Personal reasons. I offered the flimsiest excuse. Personal reasons? What personal reason trumps your future? Ethan? Listen to me. Don't be impulsive. Did another company poach you? Tell me their offer. I'll talk to Claire. Well, match it. Even beat it. He pleaded. I shook my head. Bitterness flooding my chest. Money? If I cared about money, I wouldn't have come here 4 years ago. Director Wang. Thank you for your kindness. I've made up my mind. I'll wrap up my handover this month. It won't affect the project timeline. My tone was firm, leaving no room for argument. He sighed. Defeated. I can't sit on this. I have to report to Ms. Anderson immediately. Prepare yourself. I nodded and left his office. Back at my desk, I started packing. There wasn't much. A few textbooks. A company-branded mug. The rest were 4 years of memories. Good and bad. Crashing over me until I could barely breathe. I deleted all personal files. Cleared my browser history. Finally, my eyes landed on my desktop wallpaper. A photo from our first company retreat. Everyone was grinning. Claire stood front and center. I was in the far corner, watching her through the crowd. My only photo with her. Right-click. Delete. Permanently. When it was done, I felt hollowed out. I leaned back, closing my eyes. Fine. Let it end here. From now on. Miles apart. No more crossing paths. Lost in thought. My desk phone rang. Sharp. Jarring. Caller ID. Top floor. CEO office. What was coming had arrived. I took a deep breath and answered. Her secretary's cool voice came through. Mr. Carter. Ms. Anderson wants you in her office immediately. I pushed open the heavy wooden door to her office. Claire stood with her back to me, staring out the floor-to-ceiling windows in a perfectly tailored white suit. Slim but upright. Like a white poplar facing the wind. Beyond the glass lay the city's busiest CBD. Skyscrapers. Endless traffic. She stood at the peak of it all. As if she owned the world. She had everything. Wealth. Status. Beauty. And a socially matched fiancé. I had nothing. You're here. She didn't turn. Her voice flat. Unreadable. Ms. Anderson. You wanted to see me. I kept my head down, forcing my voice steady. She turned slowly, holding my resignation letter like it was scrap paper. Her face was expressionless. Those cool, moonlit eyes studied me with an unreadable curiosity. Director Wang said you're resigning. Yes. Reason? Her voice was soft but carried undeniable authority. I stayed silent. What could I say? Because I've loved you for 4 years. And now you're marrying someone else. So I can't stay. It was laughable. It'd make me a joke. A delusional fool. Seeing my silence. Her brow furrowed slightly. Impatience creeping in. Ethan Carter. I need an explanation. She walked toward me. The click of her heels drumming against my ribs. She stopped close enough that I caught her crisp perfume. the scent ID memorized in dreams. I clenched my fists, nails biting into my palms, using the pain to stay dignified. Ms. Anderson. Congratulations. I forced myself to meet her gaze. Best wishes for your upcoming wedding. Saying it drained me. I expected her to smile, to reply with a formulaic thank you. Instead, her expression wasn't joy or happiness. It was pure confusion. Her beautiful eyes were wide with bewilderment. Then she asked something that froze me solid. If you resign now, how do we proceed with our wedding? The world hit mute. I stood there, brain blank, unable to process the words. Our wedding? I must be hallucinating. What? What did you say? My voice was gravel. Claire looked at my stunned face, her brow furrowing deeper. She seemed to realize how shocking her words were. A faint blush colored her cool cheeks. She stepped back, creating distance, her tone laced with annoyance and command. Lock the door. I moved like a marionette, turning to press the lock button. Click. We were sealed off from the outside world. Silence fell, thick and strange. Claire sank onto the sofa, rubbing her temples, gathering her thoughts. You saw the news? She finally said. I nodded. So you're resigning because of that? Her tone held accusation. I couldn't answer. Admit I was such a pathetic man that I ran when the woman I loved was marrying another? Ethan Carter. Do you think I betrayed you? Her words were a thunderclap. Betrayal? Where did that come from? Between us, there was nothing but a professional relationship. I looked at her, bewildered. Ms. Anderson. I don't understand. She sighed, pulling a folder from her desk drawer and tossing it onto the coffee table in front of me. See for yourself. I picked up the folder. Heavier than it looked. Inside wasn't a contract or confidential file. It was a prenuptial agreement. The first party, Claire Anderson. The second, Ethan Carter. I was paralyzed, holding the document like a hot potato. What is this? It's exactly what it looks like. Her tone returned to its usual coolness. The engagement news with Ryan Mitchell is fake. My father leaked it to secure a partnership with the Mitchells. A business stunt. She paused, her gaze burning into mine. This agreement is real. Ethan Carter. I want you to marry me. My brain buzzed, unable to think. Happiness had arrived too suddenly. Like an impossible dream. The goddess I'd pined for over 4 years wasn't marrying someone else. She wanted to marry me? Why? Why me? I managed. Because Project Aurora needs you. And because. She hesitated, looking away, unwilling to continue. Because what? I pressed. She turned back to the window, her voice dropping to a near whisper. Because I need someone I trust to help me finish this performance. To take full control of the company from my father. She faced me again, her gaze resolute. And you, Ethan Carter, are the perfect candidate. So I can't accept your resignation. Not only that, I want you to move into my home. Starting today. Before I could recover from the shock of marriage. Move into my home sent me reeling. Then, a sharp knock rattled the door. Urgent. Imperious. Claire's brow tightened instantly, irritation flashing across her face. Who is it? Claire. It's me. A man's voice, slick with familiarity. Ryan Mitchell. Claire shot me a stay quiet look. Then called out. In a meeting. Come back later. What meeting needs a locked door? Claire? Dad told me to take you to try on the wedding gown today. Open up. Ryan's tone was wheedling. Insistent. He jiggled the handle. Finding it locked. His knocks grew louder. Claire? What's going on? Who's in there? Claire's expression turned icy. She glanced at me. Then at the prenuptial agreement on the table. Her eyes hardened with resolve. She stood. Walked to me. And did something that stopped my heart? She leaned down. Bracing her hands on the sofa arms. Trapping me between her and the cushions. And kissed me. The kiss was cold. Brief. Devoid of desire. Just her perfume and unyielding dominance. I went rigid. My brain short-circuiting. 1 second. 2. She pulled back but stayed in place. Tilting her head toward the door. Her voice a mix of feigned breathlessness and annoyance. Ryan Mitchell. Are you done? I said I'm busy. Silence. Dead silence. Ryan wasn't stupid. Had heard the telltale rasp in her voice. Claire. You. Who's in there with you? His voice vibrated with disbelief and fury. Claire straightened. Smoothing her rumpled collar. Her haughty composure returning. She strode to the door and yanked it open. Ryan stood there. Hand raised to knock again. His face cycling through shades of shock and rage. When he saw me. Sitting on the sofa. Equally disheveled. My face flushed. His eyes turned red. You. He pointed at me like a bull ready to charge. Claire. What the hell? You and him. You. Claire looked at him. Her tone glacial. As you can see. Mr. Mitchell. May I now attend to my private matters in peace? Private matters? Your private matters involve sneaking around with another man in the office of a woman about to be my fiancé? Ryan roared. Lunging forward. Claire blocked him. First, I am not your fiancé. That was my father's decision. Second, he is my man. What we do in my office is none of your concern. She paused. Her gaze sweeping over curious employees peeking from nearby desks. Her voice carried clearly. Third. Most importantly. I love him. Ethan Carter. We're getting married. Without another glance at Ryan. She slammed the door shut and relocked it. Silence descended again. Just her. Me. And my heart trying to pound out of my chest. I sat there like an idiot. Her words echoing. He is my man. I love him. We're getting married. I knew it was for Ryan's benefit. I knew it was a tactic to escape an arranged marriage and seize company control. But my heart still raced uncontrollably. Even if it was fake. Hearing those words from her mouth would sustain me for a lifetime. Outside. Ryan's furious curses and pounding faded quickly. Security must have escorted him out. Claire leaned against the door. Exhaling deeply. A flash of vulnerability replacing her queenly demeanor. Sorry. That was sudden. I used you. She murmured. Not looking at me. I shook my head. My throat tight. And no. It's fine. She turned back. Pushing the prenuptial agreement toward me. Now you understand my situation. Ryan. His father. And my father's old guard faction want to merge my company into their family empire via marriage. I've fought them. But with little success. Her eyes burned with defiance. This company is my creation. My child. I won't let anyone take it. Project Aurora is my only chance to flip the board. Once it succeeds, we'll break free from traditional channels. Our valuation will skyrocket. Then I'll have the leverage to silence my father and those relics. I listened quietly, finally grasping the full picture. She wasn't as untouchable as she seemed. She was fighting alone. So you need a husband to block Ryan. Stabilize your father. And buy you time? I asked. Yes. She nodded. It can't be any heir from our circles. That invite more complex entanglements. It has to be someone I trust completely. Skilled, but low profile enough to avoid speculation. She met my gaze. Candid. I thought about it for a long time. In this company, only you, Ethan Carter, fit every requirement. Something struck hard in my chest. So I was the person she trusted most. My 4 years of quiet devotion hadn't gone unnoticed. Read the agreement. It's a contractual marriage. In name only. I'll pay you generously. Also, upon Project Aurora's success, 5% of the company's original shares will transfer to your name. 5%. At our current valuation. That sum could catapult me into a new class, securing lifelong comfort. It was an offer no one could refuse. But I knew what I truly wanted wasn't that. I wanted a chance to stand by her side openly, even if it was an act. I don't need money. Or shares. I said, looking at her steadily. I'll help you. On one condition. She looked surprised. What condition? I hope that during this marriage, you'll treat me as a real husband. At least in public. I summoned every ounce of courage to say it. Claire froze. Her eyes complex. After a long moment, she nodded. Fine. I agree. I picked up the pen and signed my name on the agreement's second party line without hesitation. Then, my resignation? She took the letter, fed it into the shredder. The harsh grinding sound reduced it to confetti. From now on, you're not my employee. She turned, extending her hand. Hello. My husband, Ethan Carter. By afternoon, news of our impending marriage had spread through the company like wildfire. When I emerged from her office, I walked through waves of shocked, jealous, contemptuous stares. Colleagues who'd once joked with me now eyed me like I'd slept my way to the top. Didn't peg Ethan Carter for the type. Quiet guy. Ha? Please. While we're coding away. He fast-tracked straight to the boss. What love? He's after her money and status. Dude's playing 4D chess. Pathological. Though. The snide remarks buzzed like flies. I ignored them, packing my few belongings. Claire had said I'd move in today. My luggage fit into one suitcase. As I dragged it toward the elevator, the entire tech department fell silent, staring like I was an alien. Only Jason Miller, my closest friend, chased after me. Ethan, what the hell is going on? You're really marrying Ms. Anderson? He sounded stunned. I clapped his shoulder, unsure how to explain. Jason. It's complicated. I'll tell you later. Keep the team together. Make Project Aurora a success. But. You're leaving now? Yeah. Moving. I turned toward the elevator. Jason watched my back. Torn. Before sighing and staying put. I understood his confusion. To them, I was a nobody programmer. Claire was an untouchable goddess. The gap between us was a galactic chasm. Now ID leaped across it to become her husband. A cosmic joke. A naked transaction. I didn't care what they thought. This was my only way to protect and support her. Standing outside the office building, I felt adrift. Claire had told me to move in but not her address. And I hadn't gotten her number. Just as I considered trudging back inside to ask her secretary, a sleek black Bentley glided to a stop. The window lowered, revealing Claire's cool, flawless face. "Get in." Her tone was brisk. I slid into the seat. The driver, a sharp middle-aged man, glanced at me curiously in the rearview mirror but said nothing. The car was silent. Claire and I sat side by side. A careful distance between us. Her familiar perfume mixed with the scent of fine leather, creating an atmosphere both calming and tense. "My father is coming over tonight," she said abruptly, breaking the silence. "He found out about the company and is here to interrogate me. We need to act like a real couple in front of him." My chest tightened. Meeting the parents already? Under these circumstances? What do I need to do? Nothing. Just be yourself. Remember, you're not my subordinate. You're my partner. My choice. Don't shrink before him. Don't let him think you're unworthy of me. Her voice was quiet but carried steel. I nodded. Understood. The drive ended in an upscale villa community. Each modern mansion nestled amid greenery, offering total privacy. We stopped before one that looked like a piece of art. "We're here." Claire exited first. I followed, staring at the house. Her home. Our future shared space. A housekeeper in uniform greeted us, taking Claire's bag. "Welcome back, Mississippi." Then she noticed me and my suitcase, her curiosity mirroring the driver's. Claire naturally looped her arm through mine. Her touch was light, but my body stiffened. "Lee, let me introduce you. This is Ethan Carter, my fiancé. He'll be living here from now on." Lee's surprise lasted 3 seconds before professional composure took over. She smiled warmly. "Mr. Carter. Welcome." She reached for my suitcase. "I'll show you to your room." "Lee, who said anything about a guest room?" Claire frowned. Lee paused. "Then, move his things into my bedroom." Claire's tone was casual, freezing both Lee and me in place. "Mississippi, that's." Lee looked uncomfortable. "He's my fiancé. Should we sleep separately?" Claire shot me a play-along look. I caught on, clearing my throat. "It's fine. Lee, I'll handle it." I took the suitcase back, following Claire down the hall to the master bedroom. Lee watched our backs, her expression conflicted. Inside, Claire's crisp scent enveloped me. The room was large. Minimalist black and white decor softened by plush details. A massive king bed dominated the space, the gray bedding looking impossibly inviting. The thought of sharing it with Claire tonight turned my face hot. Click. Claire shut the door, releasing my arm and returning to her cool demeanor. That was for Lee's benefit. She's been with me since I was a child. My father planted her here to watch me. I nodded. I understood. It was all an act. She gestured to the bed. "You sleep here tonight. I'll take the sofa. I'll have another bed brought in tomorrow." "No. You can't sleep on the sofa." I objected immediately. "This is my house. I decide where I sleep." Her tone brooked no argument. Unpack. Change clothes. My father arrives at 7. Well, have dinner. She disappeared into the walk-in closet. I looked at her retreating back. Then at the vast bed. Emotions churning. Unzipping my suitcase revealed a few changes of clothes and toiletries. Pitiful against the luxury surrounding me. I pulled out my best outfit. A decent casual blazer. Claire emerged from the closet. Now in a cream-colored house dress. Her hair loose. The sharp executive was gone. Replaced by a softer, domestic version. I stared. She eyed my blazer. Frowning. You're wearing that to meet my father? I felt awkward. It's my best. She sighed. Beckoning. Come here. I followed her into the closet. Expecting racks of designer bags and shoes. Instead, half the space was filled with men's clothing. Suits. Shirts. Casual wear. Active wear. All brand new. Tags still attached. I froze. These are for you, she said. Selecting a deep gray custom suit. Sized from your onboarding physical. Should fit. Go change. Looking at the rows of clothes. Warmth flooded my chest. Shed prepared everything in advance. This contractual marriage wasn't an impulse. It was calculated. I took the suit and changed in the bathroom. The fit was perfect. When I emerged, Claire was on the phone by the window. She ended the call. Walking over to adjust my crooked tie. Her fingertips were cool. Brushing my neck and raising goosebumps. Good. She stepped back. Appraising me. Remember. From now on. You're Ethan Carter. Claire Anderson's man. Be confident. At 7 sharp. The doorbell rang. Claire took a deep breath. Lacing her fingers through mine as we headed downstairs. Her palm was cool. Damp with nerves. I squeezed gently. Lee opened the door. A imposing middle-aged man entered. Victor Anderson. Claire's father. He wore a traditional Mandarin collared jacket. His features echoing Claire's but his eyes sharper. Radiating authority. His gaze landed instantly on our joined hands. His brow nodding. Ridiculous. He snapped. Voice low but oppressive. Claire. Do you know what you did at the office today? You shamed the Andersons. Claire met his stare unflinchingly. Dad. In pursuing my own happiness. What's wrong with that? Happiness? Your idea of happiness is some nobody hole destroy the Mitchell Alliance and this company's future? Victor's gaze raked over me. Dripping disdain. I gripped Claire's hand tighter. Standing straight as Shed instructed. Good evening. Mr. Anderson. I'm Ethan Carter. Claire's boyfriend. Boyfriend? Victor laughed coldly. Whoever you are. Whatever tricks you used to bewitch my daughter. Name your price. Leave her. Dad. Enough. Ethan isn't with me for money. We love each other. Claire cut in. Love? Victor scoffed. A 20-something with nothing to his name claiming to love my daughter? What can you give her? Can you provide a family like the Mitchells? Can you bring billions in partnerships? His words flayed open the chasm between Claire and me. I stayed silent. He was right. I had nothing to offer. Seeing my silence, Victor's sneer deepened. Cat got your tongue? I thought so. Boy. Take the hint. Don't humiliate yourself further. What he gives me. Neither you nor Ryan Mitchell ever could. Claire said firmly. He gives me respect. Support. A future where I don't have to depend on anyone. I will build this company's future. Not sell my marriage for it. She pulled me toward the dining table. Sitting down. Dad. If you're here for dinner, sit and eat. If you're here to tear us apart, don't bother. Her defiance deepened Victor's scowl. He paced before finally sinking into the head chair. Fine. You'll see exactly what this man of yours is capable of. Dinner was suffocating. Lee served an elaborate meal. But no one touched it. Victor scrutinized me. Hunting for flaws. Claire played the doting partner. Heaping food onto my plate. Ethan. Try this. Lee's specialty. You work so hard. Eat up. I played my role. But our interaction only fueled Victor's anger. Finally, he spoke. Boy. I hear you're a technician at the company. Yes. Sir. Which university? A domestic 985 university. Masters in computer science. An Ivy League degree. Impressive. Victor said. Sarcasm thick. Then tell me. Do you know the core technical challenges of Project Aurora? Which Claire is leading? Do you grasp the losses if that project fails? He was testing me. Trying to prove I was an ignorant outsider who'd drag Claire down. He didn't know I'd named Project Aurora myself. Every line of its core architecture was my code. I set down my chopsticks. Looking at Victor evenly. Project Aurora's core is building a decentralized data consortium based on federated learning. Its primary technical hurdles are threefold. My opening silenced both Victors. Victor likely hadn't expected a nobody programmer to discuss the project with such clarity. Claire looked surprised I'd challenge her father so boldly. Ignoring their shock, I continued. First, data privacy. Enabling multi-party joint modeling without exposing raw data requires homomorphic encryption and differential privacy. Current implementations have high computational overhead. Optimizing algorithms for efficiency without compromising security is the biggest challenge. Second, model aggregation efficiency and accuracy. In decentralized networks, data distribution across nodes is often non-IID, non-independent and identically distributed, which cripples traditional algorithms like Fed average. We need robust aggregation strategies to handle data heterogeneity. Third, and most overlooked, is incentive mechanism design. Encouraging data holders to join the consortium and contribute quality data requires a fair, transparent model quantifying contributions and rewarding them accordingly. This transcends pure technology. It involves game theory and economic modeling. I finished in one breath. My logic airtight. The table was silent. Victor's disdain had vanished, replaced by stark shock. Though not technical, he understood the project's basics. He recognized every point I'd made hit the mark, more deeply than any briefing had received. Claire watched me with newfound appreciation. She knew I was technically brilliant, but hadn't realized my understanding extended to strategy and business models. As for project failure, I paused, meeting Victor's gaze. Sir, you focus on risk while ignoring reward. Upon success, our company will define industry data standards. Well, set the rules. At that point, we need Mitchell partnerships. The entire industry will seek us. That is the future Claire deserves. My words rang with conviction. Victor stared at me, speechless. Shock, suspicion, scrutiny. Emotions warred in his eyes. He couldn't fathom how an ordinary programmer possessed such vision. Easy to talk big, he finally muttered, his tone less aggressive. Promises are cheap. Execution is everything. I'm telling you. Boy. Until Project Aurora succeeds, Claire's engagement to the Mitchells stays on the table. He stood abruptly, striding toward the door without a backward glance. Dad! Claire called. He slammed the door behind him. Silence returned. Claire looked toward the door, weary frustration on her face. I'm sorry you had to endure that, she said, turning to me. I shook my head. I'm fine. But you shouldn't have antagonized him like that. I just didn't want him looking down on you, she murmured. Warmth spread through my chest. But Ethan. She looked up, her eyes shining with unexpected admiration. Tonight, you surprised me. I always thought you were just a tech genius buried in code. I didn't realize you understood business and strategy so deeply. Her praise meant more than any bonus. I've just paid attention to you. To the company, I said, suddenly shy. Over 4 years. I'd read every interview, analyzed every decision, studied every crisis and opportunity she'd faced. I understood her ambitions better than anyone. I wanted to help her achieve them more than anyone. She studied me. Complex emotions flickering in her eyes. Gratitude. Admiration. Something else I couldn't name. Ethan. She said my name softly. Choosing you might be the best decision I've ever made. That night, I couldn't sleep. Lying in Claire's massive bed, her scent surrounding me. My mind raced. True to her word, she'd taken the bed, bundling herself in blankets on the nearby sofa. In the dark, I listened to her even breathing. Mere meters separated us. Yet it felt like a universe. I replayed the day. The soul-crushing resignation. The shock of her proposal. The tension of facing Victor. All felt like a dream. Her words, best decision, echoed like a stone dropped in a pond. Ripples spreading endlessly. The next morning, I woke early. Claire still slept on the sofa, her hair spilling over her cheek, her face serene as an angel's. I slipped out of bed, showered, and dressed in the clothes she'd provided. Downstairs, Lee had breakfast laid out. She glanced at me, her demeanor more respectful than yesterday. Good morning, Mr. Carter. Morning, Lee. I wasn't used to the title but responded politely. Sitting alone at the huge table, eating, felt surreal. Yesterday, I was a subway riding, street food eating nobody. Today, I lived in a mansion with staff. The whiplash made me dizzy. Soon, Claire came down, back in a sharp pantsuit. The formidable CEO restored. Morning. She nodded, heading straight for the espresso machine. Starting today. You won't report to tech anymore. She sipped her black coffee. I've created a new role. Special assistant to the CEO. Report directly to me. Your office is next door. I blinked. Special assistant? But I'm only technical. I can't handle admin work. Who said it's admin? She arched an eyebrow. Project Aurora is entering its critical phase. Ryan and his cronies will sabotage it. I need you overseeing it from a higher vantage point. Ensure it stays on track. Also, she paused. a meaningful smile tugging her lips. We're engaged. If you're stuck in tech, how am I supposed to cultivate our relationship? Her words blurred the line between business and intimacy. Understood. I nodded. You're my assistant now. Ethan. She extended her hand. Pleasure working with you. I clasped it. My pulse quickening. Pleasure. Ms. Anderson. When we arrived at the office together, the reaction was volcanic. Especially when I followed Claire into the spacious corner office adjacent to hers, second only to the CEO's suite. Whispers erupted. Holy shit. He's really the assistant? Talk about a promotion. This isn't a job. It's being the royal consort. Do we call him Prince Ethan now? Ugh. I'm jealous. Should have studied coding instead of looks. Needles pricked my back. I inhaled deeply, forcing composure. I knew the challenges ahead. Office politics and human nature would be 100 times harder than debugging code. My first test came swiftly. Claire convened a core project Aurora meeting. Walking in beside her, I drew stares, especially from an unexpected figure. Ryan Mitchell. He occupied the seat beside Claire's, legs crossed, eyeing me with, Ms. Anderson. This is David Zhang, the project director. Gestured at me, feigning ignorance. Let me introduce, Claire said, taking the head seat coolly. This is my special assistant, Ethan Carter. Effective immediately. He'll oversee all aspects of Project Aurora on my behalf. Ryan was the first to explode. I object. He sneered at me. A programmer who slept his way upstairs. What does he know about project management or business? Putting him in charge of Aurora is a joke. Claire. You're gambling the company's future. The room temperature plummeted. Other team members kept their heads down, avoiding eye contact. They recognized a power struggle. Victor's favored quasi-son-in-law representing Mitchell Capital versus Claire's publicly acknowledged boyfriend. Lacking pedigree but clearly favored. No one wanted to choose sides. Claire's expression darkened. Ryan Mitchell. Watch your language. This is a corporate meeting, not your playground. As CEO, my appointments aren't subject to your approval. I'm not overstepping. I'm protecting the company. Ryan adopted a righteous tone. Uncle Victor appointed me project advisor. I have every right to question qualifications. Project Aurora determines our survival. It needs professionals. Putting a code monkey in charge? Unacceptable. He turned to David Zhang. David. Am I wrong? David sweated, forcing a weak smile. Mr. Mitchell has a point. Professional roles require expertise. Though Ethan's technical skills are well regarded here. He tried mediating, pleasing both sides. Technical skill doesn't equal management skill. Ryan pressed. Fine. Since there's dissent, let's settle this with results. Next week is the Phase 1 demo for the board. He and I separate teams. Whoever delivers the superior solution wins. Loser withdraws from the project. Do you dare? Carter? He aimed the challenge squarely at me, eyes alight with contempt. It was a trap. Ryan knew nothing about tech but could leverage Mitchell resources to hire elite teams. I, the core developer, was now a marginalized assistant with no staff. Worse, the existing team viewed me with hostility. How could I win? This isn't fair. Claire protested. Unfair? Or are you just lacking confidence in him? Ryan smirked. Claire. You can shield him now. But not forever. If he's a useless gold digger, you'll see his true colors soon enough. You. Claire paled with fury. I covered her hand under the table, signaling calm. Then I stood, meeting Ryan's gaze steadily. Fine. I accept. My response shocked everyone. Claire whipped toward me, shaking her head slightly. Ryan laughed. Delighted. Brave. Fitting for the man who bewitched Claire. Deal. Next week's demo. May the best man win. He sat back, already savoring my defeat. The meeting dissolved tensely. Back in my office, Claire shut the door. Worry etched on her face. Ethan. Are you insane? Why agree? He's setting you up. I know. I said calmly. But I can't back down. If I do, I confirm I'm just a kept man. I'll lose all credibility and ability to help you. But how will you win? He has the entire Mitchell tech empire behind him. And you. I have you behind me. I interrupted, holding her gaze. Ms. Anderson. As your assistant, I can requisition company resources. Correct? She paused. Realization dawning. You mean? Exactly. I smiled. He has his tricks. I have mine. This battle was over before it began. Because he has no idea I've prepared a secret weapon for Project Aurora. For years, ID quietly recruited top talent from tech forums and universities. A covert team loyal only to me. ID planned to deploy them as a last resort. Now was the time. For a week, tension permeated the office. Everyone knew the CEO's fiancé and the chairman's favored heir were at odds. Ryan flaunted his Silicon Valley AI team, strutting through the halls. He poached David Zhang and key engineers, blatantly stacking the deck. My camp was deserted, except for a few interns. No one dared align with me. Even Jason Miller was warned off by David. I didn't care. Days. I supervised interns on basic data tasks. Nights. After everyone left, my secret weapon activated. Young talents. PhD candidates from top universities. Programming competition champions. Collaborated remotely on my private servers. Claire supported me fully, authorizing top-tier server access and keeping me company during late nights. She worked silently in my office, but her presence fueled me. Sometimes she'd bring me coffee, I'd remind her to rest. We weren't boss and assistant. We were comrades. Where did you find these people? She once asked, watching complex code scroll across my screens. They're better than our consultants. I smiled. True talent isn't bought. It's born of passion and gift. And you? Is it passion that drives you? She studied me. I nodded. I love code. It creates worlds. But technology is cold. It gains meaning only when it serves people. When it helps someone achieve their dreams. My gaze lingered on her. She blushed, looking away. Smooth talker. She murmured. But her lips curved upward. Demo day arrived. The boardroom filled with executives, including Victor Anderson. All awaited the showdown. Ryan swaggered to the podium with his Silicon Valley team. His PowerPoint was polished. Slick interfaces. Fluid animations. The directors nodded, Victor looked pleased. Applause followed his presentation. Ryan shot me a triumphant glance. Then it was my turn. I walked up alone. No slides. No entourage. Snickers and muffled laughter rose. Just him? Where's his team? Probably gave up. Total embarrassment. Claire gripped the arms of her chair. Tense. I gave her a reassuring nod before launching my demo. My interface was stark. A simple input box and a start calculation button. This is your result? An input box? Ryan jeered. Laughter erupted. I ignored him. Project Aurora's core isn't aesthetics. It's power. Mr. Mitchell's solution looks impressive. But frankly, it's an empty shell. Bullshit. Ryan snarled. Empty? Let's test it with data. I said. Turning to Victor. Chairman. I request permission to run a live test using our most sensitive medical imaging dataset. Per protocol. It cannot leave our local servers. Victor hesitated before nodding. Technicians connected the data. Mr. Mitchell. Please. I gestured. His team scrambled. Their program launched. Flashy charts filling the screen. 5 minutes passed. 10. The progress bar stalled at 10%. The lead expert sweated. Frantically typing. What's happening? Ryan demanded. Mr. Mitchell. The data volume is too large. Encryption level is too high. Our algorithm lacks the compute power. It's frozen. The expert whispered. Ryan's face purpled. I smiled. Moving to my laptop. Now. My turn. I typed a command into the simple input box and hit calculate. No animations. Just scrolling code logs. 1 minute later. The result appeared. Calculation complete. Model accuracy. 99.8%. Data privacy risk. 0, dead silence. Everyone was stunned. Especially the tech staff. Processing that volume of encrypted data with such accuracy in minutes was unimaginable. This wasn't just superiority, it was dimensional obliteration. Impossible. This is impossible. Ryan shrieked. You cheated. You preloaded the data. Faked the results. He jabbed a finger at me. Accusations are easy. Let the experts verify. I said calmly. Addressing his lead engineer. All logs and parameters are here. If you find a single data leak backdoor or prove my results falsified, I'll resign immediately and leave the industry. My confidence was absolute. The expert examined my system for long minutes. His expression shifted from skepticism to shock to reverence. He looked up. Awestruck. Incredible. It's a masterpiece. He murmured. Then turned to Ryan. Shaking his head. Mr. Mitchell. We've lost. This gentleman's algorithm is at least 5 years. No, a decade. Ahead of ours. He bowed deeply to me. Sir. I'm humbled. Ryan stood frozen. His hired guns defecting publicly. The humiliation was total. Victor's expression was complex. The earlier disdain replaced by wariness. He realized I wasn't a pawn to be manipulated, but a variable capable of rewriting the game. Mr. Mitchell. I said, turning to Ryan's ashen face. Per our agreement. You'll withdraw from the project. Yes? Ryan swayed. Nearly collapsing. Defeated before the full board by the nobody head scorned. Then ejected from the project. It broke him. You'll pay for this. He spat the threat before fleeing the room. his face corpse gray. Applause erupted. This time. For me. Former detractors now watched with awe. David Zhang rushed over, pumping my hand. Mr. Carter. No. Lord Carter. Incredible. I misjudged you. Please forgive any prior disrespect. I smiled, withdrawing my hand. I looked to Claire. She smiled back, her eyes sparkling like starlight. In that moment, I felt ID conquered the world. But victory was short-lived. A new crisis erupted that afternoon. Posts flooded internal forums and social media. Exposed. Tech prodigy turned gold digger. CEO Claire Anderson's fiancé accused of serial workplace harassment. The post included a photo. A dim KTV room. I was pinning a young woman against a sofa. My movements appearing aggressive. Her face showed terror. An anonymous victim detailed how ID exploited my position to harass and assault her. Outrage exploded. My image morphed from nobody to predator. Switchboards lit up. Stock prices dipped. Partners demanded answers. I knew it was Ryan's revenge. Had lost the tech duel and now sought to destroy my reputation. The photo was from a company outing. The woman had stumbled drunk. And ID helped her up. Someone had maliciously cropped it to imply assault. The floodgates opened. Victor called an emergency board meeting. He slammed a folder onto the table. His face livid. Claire. This is your perfect man. He's made us a laughingstock. I order you to sever ties immediately. Fire him. Or resign yourself. The room was suffocating. Directors judged me. No longer a tech savior, but a liability. Chairman. Directors. This isn't what it seems. Claire defended. I trust Ethan's character. He'd never do this. That photo is manipulated. Manipulated? A board member allied with Victor scoffed. We had experts examine it. Zero Photoshop traces. The victim is filing police reports. If this goes to court, ITLL destroy us. For the company's sake. Cut him loose. Claire. Prioritize the bigger picture. Pressure bore down on Claire. She stood pale. Lips pressed thin. Silent. I stood. Ladies and gentlemen. I said. Drawing all eyes. I don't need others to prove my innocence. Evidence speaks for itself. I connected my laptop to the projector. A complex interface appeared. This photo shows no Photoshop traces. I began. Murmurs arose. Claire looked startled. But absence of Photoshop doesn't equal authenticity. I continued. Typing rapidly. You may know. Deepfakes. Today. I present something more advanced. Temporal spatial tampering. I loaded the incriminating photo. This image is synthesized from 2 genuine video clips using AI. I ran my program. The photo fragmented like a puzzle, splitting into 2 distinct videos. First, me helping the drunk colleague up in the KTV. Completely innocent. Second, a different scene where the same colleague laughed intimately with a man. Ryan Mitchell's aide. My algorithm analyzes lighting, shadows, and pixel-level temporal inconsistencies to reverse synthetic edits. I explained. Simply put, Ryan Mitchell's men staged a scene using the woman, then used AI to graft my face onto his aide's body, creating this seamless evidence. Truth exposed. Stunned silence. The directors gaped. They hadn't imagined such technical sophistication. A tool invaluable if used ethically. This is impossible. Victor stammered, staring at the screens. He realized his favored Ryan was a snake, while the nobody was a visionary with integrity. Not finished, I said, opening another program. Since Mr. Mitchell enjoys information warfare. Well play. This is a sentiment tracking system. It traced all bot accounts spreading these lies within 30 minutes. Identifying their IP origins. A vast network graph bloomed on screen. Thousands of nodes converged on one source. An IP registered to the Mitchell Group headquarters. Ironclad proof. Chairman. Directors. I addressed them. We have witness testimony, material evidence, and technical validation. I propose immediate litigation against the Mitchell Group and Ryan Mitchell for commercial defamation and reputational damage. We release all evidence publicly. Let the world see who employs unethical competitive tactics. Make the Mitchells pay. My words landed like a boulder. Suing the Mitchells. Open war. Was unthinkable to most. Absurd. Out of the question. Victor objected first. War with the Mitchells benefits no one. Well, both suffer. Now the truth is out. Drop it. Settle privately. Settle? I laughed coldly. Chairman. Did you forget? 30 minutes ago. You demanded I be fired and Claire resign. Now. Settling erases everything? He choked. If they'll fake photos to frame me today, they'll forge contracts to hollow out our company tomorrow. Appeasing wolves only makes them bolder. I swept my gaze across the room. Wake up. The era of marriages, connections, and banquet circuit networking is dead. Future competition is technological, data-driven, cognitive. We possess Project Aurora. 5 years ahead of the industry. Why fear obsolete tactics? They should fear us. My words resonated. Younger directors wavered. Thoughtful. Claire stood, joining my side. I second Ethan's proposal. She declared. Voice steely. Effective immediately. Terminate all Mitchell partnerships. Legal prepares lawsuits against Ryan Mitchell. PR releases all evidence. We counterattack decisively. She projected a new file. A funding prospectus. Yesterday, I anonymously shared Ethan's demo with top VCs, Sequoia, Hillhouse, IDG. All expressed strong interest. Sequoia's partner offered a pre-launch valuation of. She held up 5 fingers. 50 billion. 50 billion. 10 times our current valuation. The room erupted. Ryan's potential partnerships were insignificant compared to this. Victor sat frozen. His prized alliance was laughable against our technological edge and capital backing. Directors. Claire surveyed the room. Commanding. Do we still need the Mitchells? Must we sacrifice my marriage for survival? No answer was needed. All in favor of suing the Mitchell Group? I. A young director raised his hand first. I. Hold them accountable. I. Hands rose across the table. All but Victor and a few stalwarts voted yes. Victory was absolute. Victor slumped. Aged a decade. His era was over. Claire's. And mine. Had begun. After the meeting, Claire and I returned to her office. She shut the door, leaning into me. Drained. I'm exhausted. She whispered. Trembling. I held her tightly. It's over. I soothed. Stroking her hair. We won. She nodded against my chest. Ethan. Thank you. Without you, I'd have broken today. I tapped her nose gently. Silly. We're partners. Who else would I help? She blushed, pulling away slightly. Actually, there's something I've wanted to ask. She retrieved a locked box from her desk, withdrawing a yellowed document. This is the first business plan I received when founding the company. The most brilliant, audacious one I'd ever seen. She handed it to me. I froze. The title: Project Aurora. The content mirrored our current work, but more visionary. Complete. It was anonymous. I'd searched for years for its author. I knew he was the soul of Project Aurora. Claire's eyes burned into mine. For 4 years. I waited for him. I sensed he was near. Guiding me. Helping me. Today. I know. She pointed to the signature. A unique alphanumeric code. Identical to the signature embedded in the algorithm I'd used to debunk the fake photo. It was you. Wasn't it? Her voice trembled. I stayed silent. I hadn't expected my 4-year secret revealed this way. That plan was mine. 4 years ago, when she launched her startup, I'd distilled all my visions into that anonymous plan. I sought no credit. Only that her dream had the highest launchpad. Then I joined as a programmer, guarding her from the closest vantage point, nurturing the dream into reality. Finally, I nodded. Yes. Tears welled in her eyes, spilling down her cheeks. My first time seeing her cry. Not from stress, but profound emotion. Why? Why didn't you tell me sooner? She choked out. Because I wanted you to be the queen who ascended by her own merit. Not live in anyone's shadow. Even mine. I said, wiping her tears. And I feared you'd accept me out of gratitude. Not love. She laughed through tears, burying her face in my chest. Ethan Carter. You absolute fool. She hugged me fiercely. You think I drafted that prenup only to use you? An act? I stiffened. Wasn't it? Partly. But when I sought a stand-in husband, your name was the only one that came to mind. I've seen every late night, every line of code, every sacrifice. I knew you cared. But I didn't know if it was loyalty or love. When you submitted that resignation. Her voice hitched. I panicked. I couldn't risk losing you. The contract. The marriage. It was my clumsy excuse to keep you beside me. Hearing her confession melted my heart. Our 4-year dance hadn't been solo. She'd been responding in her own way. I cupped her face, gazing into her tear-bright eyes. Claire Anderson. I said her name for the first time. I love you. I love you too. Ethan Carter. She rose on her toes, kissing me. This wasn't a cold, tactical brush. It was fervent, deep, saturated with 4 years of longing. What followed was inevitable. With my tech prowess and Claire's leadership, we surged forward. We sued the Mitchells, releasing damning evidence. Ryan and his family collapsed overnight, becoming industry pariahs. Our company secured Sequoia-led series of funding and launched Project Aurora. It disrupted the market entirely. Within 6 months, our valuation multiplied 20-fold. Victor relinquished power, content to play the doting grandfather, nagging us about wedding plans. Claire and I transitioned from contractual partners to genuine lovers. We shared her bed. I became co-founder and CTO. Standing beside her at the company's helm. No one dared call me a gold digger. They watched with reverence, calling me Claire's guardian knight. Only I knew she was the queen who illuminated my world. A year later, at our IPO bell ringing ceremony, I knelt before global cameras, presenting a ring bought with my first dividend. Claire Anderson. 4 years ago, I came here for you. Today, I ask you to stay. For me, we built this company from nothing. Now, let's build our home. From 2 to 3, maybe more. Will you marry me? No acts. No contracts. Just me. And my heart. She laughed through tears, nodding vigorously as cheers and flashes erupted. Yes. That night, back in our villa, she curled against me, toying with her ring. Ethan, what if I hadn't figured out your secret? What if I actually married Ryan? I considered answering seriously. I'd have resigned, built a rival company, and beaten the Mitchells fairly. Then won you back. She blinked, then laughed, throwing her head back. Ethan Carter. You're adorable. She nuzzled my ear. But you'll never get the chance. From the moment I chose you as my husband, you were mine. This lifetime. The next. You'll never escape me. Moonlight spilled through the windows, stars glittering. My 4-year vigil had ended perfectly. Our story was just beginning.